Hi, I'm Robin,
And I'm Kristen.
and we are back to do episodes 73 and 74 of Run BTS.
We're actually going to do 73 through 76, but we're breaking
Okay,
it up.
yes.
We're breaking it up. So this week is 73 and 74.
Yes, this week is the first two.
Yeah. Next week
Yes,
we'll cover the rest of it.
this is true.
But this is a 4-part series. That's why we're doing all 4
Right,
episodes.
right.
And they did some acting.
Yes, they did.
They did some acting in this episode. So they had a skit called Dalbang, which
Dalbang.
is that was
Dorm.
right.
Yeah.
I said it right. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
which is dorm.
Yes.
And it was just a skit that they had put together about life to get living together in a dorm.
Yeah.
So they started off, I believe, episode 73. They did some testing of their acting skills.
Yes, they did, and that was interesting.
Hmm.
Because they were sitting around and they were, of course, talking about who had the experience and who knew what they were doing, and that they didn't have any experience, and this was going to be hard, and
Oh,
things
boo hoo.
things to that effect, and they were ragging on one another and stuff. But they did quite well,
Yes.
They did really really well. They were doing their testing was based on iconic lines from certain dramas.
Mm-hmm.
And they picked out 7 different dramas. They gave one to each of them and the line. So RM had from the drama Fight for My Way, and Jen had Lovers in Paris, and Sugar had Boys Over Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
J-Hope had Deep Rooted Tree. Or is
Mm-hmm.
it trees? Was it trees or tree? I don't know. I didn't
I don't
catch the
remember.
S.
I think it might have been trees.
Yeah. Jimin had Guardian,
Mm-hmm.
The Lonely and the Great God.
Mm-hmm.
And V had Moon Embracing the Sun. And JK had Kill Me, Heal Me. So,
So they each drew a number, and that's the
yes.
order they went in, and how they selected who got what drama.
Yeah. Yes, right. So they got to see the actual line being said from the
From the
said drama,
scene. Yeah.
and so they had an idea of what type of emotion that they had to present in this audition testing or whatever.
I think
But
all of them had seen the
yes, yeah,
dramas
yeah,
that
yeah,
they
they had
worked
seen them.
with.
Well,
I think so.
no, not all of them seen the dramas, but they knew of them.
Yeah.
I think Sugar said that he used to watch it, but he hadn't seen it in a long time.
I think he said he
Yeah,
watched it when it came out, and I think it
right,
was like 2009 or something like
right,
that.
something like that. And so he said it, but he hadn't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
To me, the only comedic one, and it could have been just because of J
J
Hope.
Hope. I
It
think
could have been strictly just because of him. But he had I don't know. Was his a comedic line, or did he just
No,
make it a
he's just
comedic line?
he I think he just made it a comedic line. I think his is a period drama, and
Right.
he was a warrior,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it was I think it was I don't know, I never saw it. I should I only of all of them I've only seen one of those dramas.
Oh, okay. Just
Yeah,
one?
just one.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Guardian is the only one I saw.
Okay.
So I recognized the line,
Yeah, all
but
right.
the other ones I was like, this is gonna be fun because I have no idea what to expect. I've heard of Boys Over Flowers,
Mm-hmm.
and there was another one that I had heard of, but yeah, Moon. I think it was the V's
Guardian?
one. No,
Oh, Viva?
V's.
Oh, Moon Embracing the
Son.
Sun?
Yeah, I think I've heard of that one too.
Quick question, because I believe I caught this the first time I watched it, but not the second time I watched it. That drama, V's friend acts in it. Is that correct? And
I don't know. I don't think I
you
heard.
didn't
I don't
guess?
think I heard that. I think the only mention of friend was some. I can't remember which drama it was, but the lead actor is somebody who's the same age as J.K. and he said, "Oh, we're friends," and
Right.
they said, "Do you actually know him?" And he said, "No." Now the reason why is because in with their age system, if you're born in the same year, you can speak in a friendly way towards
Oh, right.
them without
Okay.
having to use honorifics. You get,
Right. Right.
but of of course, just like with any relationship, you kind of have to make sure it's okay.
Yes,
Like that you
yes,
speak
yes.
to them very casually. But that was the thing. He was like,
That
oh,
was
we're born the same year, we're friends.
yeah.
And he's just like, they're like, are you sure? Because like you have to know them first in order to really kind of be in that friend line. But that's why they have like the 95 lines
right.
of the 95s.
Yeah.
So like Jimin and V are technically, friends because they're in the same line. There's no hierarchy.
Right.
And then the same thing with RM and J-Hope. They are technically the same age because they're born the same year. So they are friends. Everybody
friends.
else has somebody younger or older. There's nobody else that's in the same
year.
age. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I had caught that, but I could be wrong because
if you did, I missed that. I didn't. That was JK's reference was the only reference I heard to somebody being a quote unquote friend.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then maybe I'm mixing it up because it might have been along the same lines of when V got his drama and his line. And maybe I was, and because they were talking about him actually acting in a drama, that I was just sticking that in there for myself.
Maybe, which is funny because his close friends are all actors.
Right, and that's why I thought that's what it was, and I thought that one of his close friends actually acted in this, and I don't know, I'm pulling this again out of my left ear, but I thought also, I know
the left ear.
I also thought that he had said that he knew the line because that was the line his friend said. So I don't know.
Dang it, now
but I'm kind of thinking maybe I thought I knew. I don't know.
You know what?
Anyway.
If you did, great. You caught it, and you're amazing. And if you didn't, great. You didn't catch it because you can't catch everything, but you're still amazing. But you're human.
Thank you. So anyway, they got through their lines and they did very, very well. And then after that, they got their script for the actual drama that they were going to be recording, or they were going to be, recording.
Yes.
Or taping. And
so same thing, recording taping?
Well, yeah, but you have to use it in the right content. Text. Okay.
I don't know what the context is.
Well, taping is movie, recording is audio.
Oh, okay. All right. Learn something new. I think. You said it so confidently. I believed you.
Well, I believe,
and that could be right. That could be taping is visual and recording would be audio.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyhow, so but before they went into that, I'm sorry, they didn't do the script at that point. They didn't review. They did the game for their crew assignments.
For the roles?
Yeah.
Oh, they did the roles first?
Right, okay. They did the roles first.
So then they had to they played the game to get the roles.
Yeah. Their crew assignment. So they had to be actors as well as
the crew.
Yeah, as well as the crew. So we had prop. Jen was props. Sugar, I mean not Sugar. Well, Sugar was snacks. J-Hope was stylist. And JK was the slate. Scene one.
He did the slate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him the slate master. I don't know. What
that's kind of cool. Yeah, okay. Slate master. And slate master Jimin was the timekeeper.
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I said that right. And V was the director.
Which they came out the gate with like, he's going to be the director and everybody else has to figure out the roles because he's the only one who has experience working on a drama. Exactly.
And RM was there for mental care.
Yeah, he was the mentality care.
Mentality care, yes. So that was their assignments. Then they reviewed the script.
And their first table read.
Right, exactly.
There was no table, but they read out their lines.
Right. So so they got their part. Well, they were themselves. They were themselves. So they didn't have characters they didn't have to be any specific character. They were themselves. So and so in what 74 they began
filming.
Yeah, they began filming. So that was interesting
It was so I
and chaotic.
it was so chaotic. Okay, it was so
Chaotic.
chaotic. So they started off in the living room scenes and they did all of their living room scenes, which
Yeah.
thinking about it, I don't know why I thought that they would have done it in order, but I guess it really doesn't make sense to do that if you're you just if you're working with a set, you
Mhm.
do everything in that set and then you move on to the next set.
Right. Right.
So yeah, they had so many living room scenes.
They
And
did.
because primarily the drama primarily takes place in the living room with flashbacks to other areas of the dorm. But the first attempt to get through the first scene, I don't apparently jokes were being told by ghosts somewhere because the laughing, they just kept
Out of
cracking up.
control. Out of
Just
control.
kept cracking up.
Yeah.
Like they would look at each other and like make eye contact and bust out laughing. It would be silent for a little too long and
Yeah.
then just they had to laugh.
Yeah.
And it was just hilarious because I think there was one point where I think J Hope laughed and they had to, cut
Yeah.
and redo it. And Sugar scolded him for laughing. And then the next take, he laughed. And I'm like, come on, guy. Like you're over
He's
here.
like, I'm gonna let it
hey,
out.
You
Yep.
can't laugh. You got to be serious. And then he laughs. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
it got you too. But the whole time, every time they had to do a new take, JK had to do, the slate. And so
Yes.
they had told him when he got that role, and he was like, "Oh, this will be fun. Like it'll be easy." And
Yeah.
V was like, no, it's gonna be tiring. You're gonna be exhausted. You technically have the hardest job."
Yeah. Yeah.
And he felt it. Like
He
there was
did.
one point where he came and he sat down on the sofa and he was just like, "I'm tired. I'm so tired." And then he wrote on the slate, "I'm tired." Yeah,
It was a lot. It
but
was a lot for him.
but he was really like he was doing, and there was I think Jimin had offered to take that role
Right.
for a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah.
and he was like, no, I got it.
Yeah.
I guess when you get like set in your rhythm with how it
Right.
works.
Yeah.
But at one point he was getting confused as to what scenes they were on, and he was just like, what am I writing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Because it had to change every time.
Mm-hmm.
But what was amazing is that you do realize watching is if you're not, into filming or anything having to do with, production of a movie and or show, you really get to see the in and outs
Mm-hmm.
of everybody's job. And I have to say V was right. He is the one working the hardest because he has to be at every single
Scene. Yeah.
Prior to
whether he's in it or not.
whether he's in it
And
or
then
not.
I think it's doubly hard for him when he's in the scene
Yeah.
because not only does he have to do the slate and then he has to get into position for his scene,
Mm-hmm.
and then he does the scene and then they yell cut and then he has to do the slate for the next scene.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just a lot of maneuvering through the sets, and yeah, it was a very demanding role for him. And the easiest job I think went to Sugar.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
He's just like, I'll just swipe my card. It's fine.
Yeah.
One time, just bought all the snacks and he was done. He was like,
he was done.
And cut. I'm done. Like he didn't have to worry about anything after that.
I was gonna say, and I had a question.
I'm sorry.
No. It's it's stuff going on in my brain. It'll come back to me.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask, do you have any idea how many takes they had to do for that first scene?
I lost track. And the reason I did was because I feel like there were moments where things were being repeated and not the lines. I'm talking about their attempts. And so I think it was like 6. I think it was 6.
11.
Oh, just kidding.
11.
Oh, just kidding.
But now I remember my question. Not really a question, statement. Not only do they have to go through taping, recording, taping the scene, But then they have to remember they had to go
Oh
back
yeah,
and do
do
the
like the
close-ups.
close-ups, yeah.
Yeah.
To get those,
To
the
yeah, to get
shots.
those shots in there. So I mean, you got everything, and you sitting back. You go, okay, good. All right, next scene. And it goes, no, we got to do close-ups. Like really?
Yeah. So
So
even though the close-up's not on you, you still have to do the line
you
because
have
your
to,
line is heard in the background.
right. So
It
it's
was a lot.
yeah, it was a lot. But they went through that, and they had 19 scenes.
Total?
Yeah, I think it was
Oh,
19
okay.
scenes to tape, and
Mm.
it was throughout the whole dorm. But what the first take, or no, the first scene, they were going through and making rules for the dorm,
Mm-hmm.
and they
And that
only
was
had
that was basically the whole plot of
right,
the
exactly,
drama was the
exactly,
rules for the dorm.
right, and it was only 3 rules.
It took a long time to get 3
And there
rules.
was only 3 rules. The first one was no cosmetics in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Then what was the second one? Oh, keep your area tidy.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your room tidy. And then the third one was bring in adequate
Yeah,
amount.
just
Yeah,
don't bring in a bunch of
don't bring
different
in a
stuff.
bunch of different stuff. Yeah, so it was. There were 3 rules, and they
Sorry, the
surrounded
cat's
it.
back there.
They surrounded the whole thing on those 3 rules.
They technically had 4 rules, but then they realized one
Yeah,
of them
they scratched
was,
one out.
yeah,
Yeah,
the rule was don't leave stuff in other people's rooms, but
yeah,
then they were like, well, that's a gift, so
yeah.
like we're gonna leave that. But
Do
I don't know. I hope she's
she
not climbing on here.
she no,
Is she?
no, she's right here.
Oh, she's trying to guest star on the episode.
Oh gosh.
Mittens
But
is
anyway,
back there.
yeah, yes. If you didn't
If you,
catch
yeah,
on,
if you,
didn't catch on.
we're not looking at nothing.
Yes,
she's back there
she's back there.
being a
So
menace.
yeah, so and
I just had a real quick thought, or not
mm,
thought. Because we talked about it, we were watching it, and how when the first rule, don't put your cosmetics in the fridge, and Sugar goes, "Oh, should we have a separate fridge for the cosmetics?" And everybody just does this overly exaggerated, huh? But what cracked me up the most is that he did it too, and I'm just like,
yes,
you reacted in a shocked way to
to
your
your
own
suggestion.
yeah, your own suggestion. It just cracked me up because it wasn't just that one, like the initial, the close-up shot had his surprise reaction too.
Yeah.
And I just like, nobody caught that? Nobody wanted to cut that out.
I tell you, JK probably didn't want to say anything because that means he would have to snap
He'd have to
another
do another
no,
take in
he
his
said,
slate. Yeah.
you know what? We're good.
He's
We're
like,
good there. So
good job,
yeah.
everyone.
So they had different scenes in different areas of the dorm. They went through the kitchen, the living room.
Do you want to? I kind of. Oh, you know what? Hold on, because I feel like that's going to go into the next few episodes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for 73 and 74. I mean, 74 was primarily all of the living room scenes,
Right.
which there was, like I said, the drama was primarily in the living room with flashbacks to other parts, other scenes in the dorm.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was done in that first initial episode of filming. But yes, there were a couple of moments that were kind of memorable. Like I think they were filming the last scene where they all, get up to get the food.
Oh yes.
And they did it perfectly. They were so proud of themselves. And they were like, V's like, cut, yes, perfect, it's good. And then the director goes, somebody left a prop, they left their script on the sofa. And everybody like looks over and they see whose sofa, or like whose seat it was, and they look at Sugar and they're like, why? They were so mad because they got it. It was like a one take, and they were like, yes, we finally got something done in one take. This is great. This is going to set the tone for the rest of the filming. And they were so excited. And then he put his script down on his seat. And he was just like, I'm sorry. They had to do it again. But yeah, I thought that was funny. And then I don't, like, were there any others that were, I think, well, they kept reminding each other, like, every time we mess up, we had to do another take. Poor JK suffers. So they kept bringing that up. there was a moment where they kept asking, or V kept asking them for their opinions on the scenes, and they're like,
yes.
"You're the director."
Yeah, you're the director.
And he
It's the
was like,
director's
"Well,"
decision.
he was
Yeah.
like, "Well, I just want input," and they're like, you make the final decision."
Yeah.
So it was a really interesting like dynamic how they shifted that with Tay being in charge.
Yeah.
And having to make the decision. He's just kind of like, I don't normally do this. So
Strangely enough, she looked very
director-ish.
directorish.
Yes.
Directorish.
Especially when we get to 75. Because they changed his out in it.
Right.
He definitely
His shirt,
looked like
yeah.
he was on a set, like in
Yeah.
a crew, like definitely working a crew.
But I liked him in the black turtleneck because that just
yeah,
I liked him in the black
starting to
turtleneck.
realize
Yes.
we're suckers for black
Turtleneck,
on
yeah,
them.
we are. Because when all of them, when any of them have one
Yeah.
on, it's like, oh my goodness.
We were just talking about the
yes.
weird biases and how it's like there's a person we follow who has J-Hope is her crisp white button down bias.
Yes.
And like she just has different like it gets to a point where you're just like, I'm so OT7 that I have to have a different thing that I like about them. Like for the longest time, RM was my black turtleneck bias.
Yes.
RM was my black turtleneck bias, and I didn't realize I had that bias until I started to realize that I overly loved those photos of him in the black turtleneck, and I was like, okay, I think this might be a thing.
Yeah. Yes,
so,
definitely a thing. So thank you for helping us realize
we also have a problem.
We also have a thing. Yeah. Yeah. So so that's 73 and 74. And 75 and 76 kind of get deeper in. We'll discuss that next
more
time
scenes,
around.
lots of fun, more chaos.
Yeah, more chaos.
And pajamas.
We'll
get into that next time. We'll get into that next week.
Okay.
How are we on time? I feel like we went through that really, really quickly.
We did. We're good.
Oh, we're good. Okay. Well, you know what? We're just going to wrap it up here so we don't get carried away with ourselves. And we'll see you next week. Bye.